All right, so we're back on location once again. We got superstar Mike Fortunato with us. As we've met Mike before, he's one of the first call A2 music A2s in the industry. I wanted to catch him because I know he's got a crazy month coming up, and he just finished two important gigs. They're pretty impressive, and he's got three more coming up. So we're going to go over with Mike. The first two that he did, and I'm going to try to get it all done in 30 minutes. So, welcome, Mr. Fortunato. Thanks for spending some time with us.
Hi, Joe. We're on location.
You're on location. And you can tell we're on location because we got really bad audio, which is pretty funny from two audio guys. So, anyway, Mike, let's go back to the Radio City gig. So, everybody knows it was Tony Bennett's Bye-Bye show, right? And Lady Gaga.
And Lady Gaga, yeah.
All right, so tell us, go over the setup, because not too many people got to see the show itself, or maybe they did, I don't know. So tell us what you had to do and what were some of the challenges that you had to do to get that thing up and rolling.
It was a full orchestra with a jazz quartet and Lady Gaga's band. So it was like 100 and, I guess, maybe almost 280 inputs or something like that.
Yikes.
That was big. And, no, I mean, it wasn't that hard to do to get it up and rolling. You know, it was fine.
I don't know. That's a lot of mics and a lot of inputs and a lot of things to fax out and get set. How much time did they give you to build that?
1 day.
So I guess you've been at this a while, because if you're saying that's not a big deal, that just means you've been doing this a long time.
Well, I had help too. The house guys were there too, the Radio City audio guys, so they helped me. And I mean, they're great and professional. They do stuff like that all the time.
Okay, so let's talk about you show up, your call time is whatever it is, and what's the first thing? First off, who are you working for? You working for Radio City?
No, I'm working. The production company hired me to work for the remote truck. There's a television truck, and then there's the remote, like a recording studio truck. So I was the interface between the house and the recording studio truck, basically.
So your microphones are basically being split between the two trucks?
The microphones on stage are split 3 times. They go to the front of house, the monitor, and into these mic preamps, digital mic preamps that go to a recording truck. So they're split 3 times, and then the recording truck mixes it and sends a left and right to the television truck, and a left and right backup.
Oh, okay. So let's get back to it. So you show up. What's the first thing you got to start doing, you personally?
Me personally, get the stuff out of the recording truck. There's 2 racks of microphone preamps that travel fiber optically into the house, and they go back to the truck. And I have to run the cable out, fiber optic cables, and then the house guys take it and run it into the Radio City Music Hall, into the bowels of Radio City Music Hall, which is pretty crazy down there.
And then that comes up, fans up somewhere, breaks out where?
Yeah, there's holes in the floor all over the place that they run all their cables for the Christmas show. So it just goes into the house, underneath the house, and there's little trap doors all over the place in that place. So, and it comes up there.
And where's the fiber get flipped?
Meaning
the fiber has to break out to XLR box somewhere.
No, fiber goes right to the rack, and then the audio split fans out into the fiber box.
Oh, okay. All right.
I have 100 and something inputs going to these 256 pair boxes, and I plug them all in, and then it comes down a piece of fiber through the floor, out the wall, down the thing, outside to the recording studio truck.
And then when it hits the truck, it gets decoded again into each single.
It turns analog, yes.
I get, okay. So once you were, so that's it. So you hooked the fiber's hooked up. You're in there. Next step.
start micing up the band or help them mic up the house guys. Radio City is a very strict union where you're not really allowed to touch, but I'm friends with all of them, so we all do it together. So we just start micing everything up and plugging it all in, and then you do a line check eventually, and then so make sure the truck has all the inputs. So you do a line check the front of house, the monitors to the truck, and then you wait for the musicians whenever their rehearsal is, and then you have to try to get sounds of every instrument. So you have to get the kick drum, the snare drum, the hi-hat, the rack tom, the floor tom, then the bass, the keys, the horns, the singers. Then you go through each violin, viola, cello, upright bass, horns, woodwinds, reeds. You go through everything, and the guy in the music truck is getting a level on every instrument, like he's making a record. It's basically making a live album.
Ah, okay. That's a good analogy. And then when talent, Tony Bennett or Lady Gaga, when do their mics get involved?
Well, yeah, that all has to be figured out and make sure it works before any of those people even walk in the door, because there's no mistakes. If you make a mistake,
And then monitors. Are you responsible for monitors?
Every engineer monitors too. Yeah, there's a monitor engineer, monitor tech, RF techs, RF monitor techs, wedge, monitor like physical audio monitor techs. There's all different people getting that all together.
So it's that particular that there's the guy who's doing in-ears is the in-ear guy. Then there's an RF guy, and he's responsible for all of that.
And there's a communications guy that has hundreds of communication packs for the producers and directors and lighting guys and audio guys. So there's a whole table filled with these headsets that you wear to communicate with one another. You have no communication. The whole gig is
right.
Down the toilet.
And so are you communicating, or can any of those people talk to you, or are you on a separate party line, PL, to...
No, you have those channels. The new PLs have 6 channels, so you can have up to 6 different things on the PL system. I usually just talk to the audio guys in the house and the audio guys in the recording truck. They're on separate channels. So they usually say, since you need to hear everything the most, you run the line checks. So I'll have the monitor guy, the front of house guy, and the truck guy on. I'll go, hey, everybody, you ready? Kick drum. Boom, 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 kick drum. Everybody got it? Good. Snare drum, hi-hat, rack tom, floor tom, drum pad.
So you're physically doing that. It's not like you're asking the drummer to hit your kick drum.
It depends. If there's nobody there, I do it. I don't know how to play violin, but I don't touch, when I get to the violins and there's no violin players there, I just talk down the microphone. Gotcha. And then when the actual orchestra comes, I get the conductor to say, can we have all the violins play as a section, please? Can we have the violas play as a section? Can we have the cellos play as a section? Can we have the woodwinds play as a section? Then can we have everybody play together?
So once the musician's call is there, they are expecting and are accustomed to going through a sound check for you guys. So they're just there to sound check.
They don't really want to.
What was that?
They don't really want to. I'm more of a pain in the ass. They just want to do their gig, but I have to quarterback. I have to make sure that it's because it's a television show. You got to make sure that the truck is getting it.
Right.
Forget about the truck until they watch TV next week on Channel 7 and they say, wait, that sounds like shit. What the fuck happened?
Right. It's funny you're saying that. I'm going to jump off to your next gig, but I just want to interject right here. The same thing happened. I did a Broadway gig last night. Broadway's back, so we did a whole thing, and it was a 5-camera shoot and da-da-da-da. The whole reason behind this was the video capture. There was a live audience and all of that, but the lighting guys came in and were lighting for theater, which didn't help us. And the sound guys are mixing for the house, which didn't help us. So then we had to have that production meeting and say, okay, what's important here? The capture, or are we going for the live event and we just get whatever we get? And then all of a sudden everything changed because the video, the television was the most important. So they had to change the way all the lights had to come up so we had something we could see, and so forth and so on. So yeah, I know exactly what you're saying, is that it's a television show. So in the end, that has to be right.
99% of the time, when someone's doing some type of television show, it's everybody's day off. And they just took your day off away because now you have to do a television show. So now no one wants to be there. It's their day off, and you're basically ruining their day off by making them work to do a television show. So everybody's in a bad mood from the start.
And when you say everybody, you're talking about the musicians or the talent?
Yeah. Everybody. You know, even the rock star could be in a bad mood because their manager didn't tell them, "Oh, you're doing Jimmy Fallon today." Well, I thought I had a day off. No, you got to do Jimmy Fallon. Or the Jay Leno show, or your sister's ass show, whatever.
All right. So
I curse.
I know you do. I know.
From Jersey City.
Again, it comes with the territory, and fortunately, we don't have any FCC to regulate. So let's jump forward for a minute. Let's go forward to the next show, which there's so many different levels here. You did Central Park, the big New York, welcome back, headline after headliner after headliner after headliner. This was going to be Woodstock on steroids, the biggest show in the world. Walk us through that whole setup.
Well, they wanted to have the New York Philharmonic play at the top of the show, which is 112 inputs or 100 something like that. But and then they want to just boom go into the next part of the show, but it all has to be struck. So how do you? There's no risers, nothing is on risers, all on the floor. So you set the whole orchestra on the floor, and then spin the stage, and you gotta pull it all off without breaking everything and knocking over $1 million Stradivariuses and all this shit to get the house band up. So that was insane. I don't know whose bright idea that was, but that was really crazy. That was the craziest thing I've ever seen in my whole life.
If Mike Fortunato was in charge of that aspect, how would you have made that better, more efficient for everybody?
I would have put it on risers. I would have figured out a way to fit everybody on a riser somehow. I know it's almost impossible because it's 112 people, but I would have figured out a way to put everybody, as much of the stuff on risers as you could, so it's all wired up. You just break it, push it away. Next, break it, push it away. Next, break it, push it away. But I think maybe because I just think that you couldn't fit 112 people on all those risers.
So you were basically saying that the risers, as you're saying, would have been mini stages that could have just been lifted and moved off.
Wheeled.
Just okay.
Push it away like a skateboard. See,
So I know you've done a bunch of other gigs, which we both have, where you're on a turntable. So you have 2 bands, 3 bands, booked, set, ready to go. Turn the thing around, next act sitting there, and the audience is none the wiser. All of a sudden, we go around, and then you strike backstage, right? But I guess, again, you're counting 100 and change. You're not going to be able to do that.
Well, we had Santana on the back, which is a huge band. And then they wanted to have the house band, which was 111 inputs as well. So we had to strike an orchestra and set up a house band that's 111 inputs. While the Santana's doing 2 songs. I'm like, how the hell are we going to do that? Are they jam songs? Is it a Grateful Dead song where it's 15 minutes long? And then they figured out a way to go to commercial, and then they did people talking and, hey, New York, and then we got it. We did it. I was amazed that we did it, but we did it, and then everything else.
All right, so let's move on. So again, from the outside looking in, looked like it was going pretty good. I mean, had a beautiful stage.
I couldn't believe everything was
Stage
working.
looked gorgeous. Everything was up. And then there was, as your back of house shot, camera shot coming through, you're looking through your stage, and you're looking, the sky's sitting back there, and this ominous cloud starts cutting closer and closer. What was that like on the ground?
It was crazy. It was like, the angel of death, when it was coming through, talking about biblical type of stuff. You saw the clouds coming and the angel of death was coming. That's what it was like. It was pretty crazy. But the weatherman, the crazy thing was, there's weather people all over the state saying it's going to rain for 20 minutes and it's over. No, it didn't. It was crazy. Then it was crazy that it was right in the middle of Barry. Barry Manilow brought his whole band with him. We had a house band plus his band. There was 3 keyboard players, him, drums, bass, guitar, all this stuff. I don't know how we figured it out. We got it all up there. It all worked. Everybody was happy. He's singing his song, and all hell broke loose.
So what happens in that situation? That's a unique time. Even people who've been in this industry a long time don't necessarily have to deal with that. What exactly transpires during that moment?
Well, they said that there was a lightning strike 5 miles away. If there's a lightning strike, we have to shut down. And they just killed the PA. And he's singing Copacabana, and everything, his in-ears go out, everything stops. Everybody just starts running like a melee. It was crazy. I don't know. If I was the producers of the show, if I knew that was coming, I just wouldn't even want to let them go out there. I would have stopped, said, all right, is it coming? Is the rain coming? I wouldn't have killed him in the middle of the song, but that's just me.
Yeah, it's television, and every minute makes money, or every minute costs money too. So they're not gonna bail.
I would have went to the show, and I would have got the meteorologist back there saying, is it coming? Are we going to stop? What are we doing?
So when they killed everything, did they kill it? I know from doing, a lot of sports and live gigs, 10 miles, they have their lightning strike meters. And if it's 10 miles out, by law, you have to stop if you're doing an outdoor anything. So did they kill the Jennies? I'm sure there were plenty of generators there.
There's power on stage.
Oh, no kidding. They didn't kill power. They left that up. Better yet. So what did they do? They just killed audio? They killed lights?
They turned the PA off and the lights and everything off. And then they turned the PA back on, and they made this public service announcement. We have to clear the field. There's lightning coming.
And at that time, the park was full, right? There was
been at least 60, 70,000 people there, I would think. As far as you could see.
And this is on the great lawn of Radio City, which is a ginormous place. What was that?
Central
Radio
Park.
City. At Central Park, thank you. So now all of a sudden it's like timeout for, rain delay in a baseball game. So you guys are hanging out, and what's the direction? What do you start doing?
Some people were yelling, we're going to sit down for an hour, and then we're going to start the show back up. Some people were yelling, show's over. And then there was other people yelling, no, the show's coming back. So it was very weird. But the bottom line was it never stopped raining. It didn't stop raining for 4 hours. Like, it never stopped. So bands were striking their gear. Like, there's some touring bands there that we don't want our gear to get wet. So they struck it all, put it all in their flight cases, and then somebody would come out and go, no, you got to set back up, you're going to play. So they'd set back up, and then break it down, and then set it back up, and break it down. So there's a lot of crazy stuff going on backstage, a lot of yelling and screaming and stuff like that.
Okay, so from you're taking your direction because you're employed by the truck, the music, right?
That show I was employed by the sound company.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, the sound company hired me to mic.
So you're just on standby at that point. They just.
I'm just on Barry Manilow's piano, I'm sitting, but it never stopped.
Because there were shots again from the broadcast. The broadcast kept saying, "We're not sure what's going to happen. Maybe it's going to." And this was on CNN. We're not sure what's going to happen. We're not getting direct, but they think they're coming back. And they kept cutting to the stage. And they say, we see people on the stage right now walking around. Maybe they're setting it up. What exactly was going on that stage?
People just kind of loitering.
And people, you're talking about crew, not talking about talent.
Cameramen, stage managers, lighting guys, audio guys, band guys, roadies, just kind of, no one knew what to do. We were just kind of standing around. And then the people were getting mixed messages. Some people were saying it was canceled. Some people were saying, no, we're coming back in an hour. It's going to stop raining, and Barry's going to do his set over. So I'm like, okay. They said, just make sure the band doesn't get unplugged because Barry Manilow's going to finish his set. I'm like, all right. So, but I never unplugged anything, so I was just sitting.
And how wet is the stage getting at this point?
It was raining like you were going to build an ark. That's how hard it was raining. Literally soaking wet. And then the other problem was the ceiling was rubber, and the front of the stage was filling with water to the point where the whole stage was going to collapse. So then they lowered the PA to the ground, and then they sent guys up there to cut through the rubber ceiling because it never stopped raining. So now you got how many thousands of gallons of water.
That's crazy.
So now everything's getting wet. So now people are like, we're out of here.
So, but there's gear. There's gear. There's I don't mean to interrupt, but there's gear and there's cables and there's a lot of expensive stuff all over that stage, including the sound system.
$500,000 monitor consoles, $200,000 monitor console, all the PA, all the monitors in the truck, all the lights, Barry lights, all over the ones. Tons of
and all
stuff.
that's just getting soaked.
It never stopped raining. For 4 hours, they broke a record. It was the most water ever to fall in Central Park ever.
And some people stayed there, right? There were people still standing.
There was a bunch of crazy, Burning Man, wacky people in the front going, let's rock, let's New York City. And then the cops are like, you gotta leave. There's a storm, we don't want you here. The stage is gonna fall on your head and kill you. And they made them leave. The cops just chased them away.
Would you say, now you've done a couple of crazies. I mean, I know you did the Woodstock too, so you've been out in some crazy things. So, where does this rate in the insane gigs you've done?
In the top 5, top 3 maybe? Just because of the rain and how... I think if it rained for like a half hour, like it was supposed to, people would have came back and everything would have been fine. We'd dried off some stuff. All right, Copa, Cabana, just keep going. But it never stopped raining.
So,
ever.
You told me that a lot of the headliners just adios.
They're like, Springsteen's coming up. And the guy's like, no, Springsteen left 2 hours ago. He's in New Jersey right now. He's not coming up. Patty Smythe is coming up. No, she left too. The Killers left, and I know.
Obviously, we've been in this business a long time. The bands do, the road crews do. They know when it's not going to work. So they're not going to...
There was a lot of stuff going on up there to finish the concert. I guess New York wanted to prove a point that we're tough.
Yeah, and you could be tough. 100 years ago, we did a gig out there with Diana Ross, her Live in the Park thing, and the rain came down, and it's legendary history. She refused to leave. She said, I'm going to stay out here, blah, 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 blah. That was when I owned Triple S Electronics, and at the end, when they finally pulled everybody off the show, we literally just took all the gear, because every bit of it was wrecked. Like all the backline gear, all the front of house, all that left. And it all came down to the shop for us to evaluate. And it was all destroyed. Like even if you could get it working for 6 months, there was no integrity because you can't put water inside electronics. They don't mix.
I did Andre Bocelli in Central Park and it rained, but it was fine. It wasn't like, this was like, let's build the ark and put 2 animals of every species in the ark. That's how hard it was raining. Like you couldn't see.
Okay, so now they get to somebody blows the whistle, tells de Blasio that you got to leave. We're not doing this. It's over. What time did they pull the, call the strike?
11.
Wow.
11.
That was a long time of just sitting around.
My underwear were wet.
And what did you end up doing then? I mean, was it a full strike?
Full strike. Full strike. Everything. PA, everything. I don't think they pulled in the delay towers because they couldn't get them down because of the mud. They couldn't get forklifts out there.
Oh, yeah, I didn't even think of that, right?
But they just did everything. Everything on the stage went.
And fortunately, nobody. What was that?
I'm sorry. Those amp racks, there's little trays on the bottom of the amp rack was filled with water. So I don't know if those amp racks survived for all that PA. That's a lot of money there. I don't know if they got wrecked or not, but there was water everywhere.
All right, so real quick, somebody wants to get in to do your gig. They want to. I knew that was coming. As I was going to ask the question,
The surgeon, Joe, working on people's noses and boobies, man. Don't do it.
Okay, so let's get past that part for a minute. So somebody wants to this for whatever reason, they don't listen to you and they decide. How does someone, like, what do you have to know to do this, and how do you get in?
I don't know, Joe. You gotta know music, you gotta know instruments, you gotta know microphones, but it's more than microphones and music. You gotta know how to read the situation. I was trying to tell somebody that the other day. Yeah, and plugging a microphone in, anybody can do that. But to know what's going on, who's in a bad mood, this guy's going on, this band's going up, the mayor of New York is over here yelling, this is going on, there's water coming down, the band lead is fighting with this guy. You gotta know.
Does that come from just experience, though? I mean, is that?
I don't know. You gotta have really good peripheral vision. I mean, yes, you gotta know audio, you gotta know what microphones you gotta plug in and all that stuff. But you gotta just know how to work a crowd. You gotta know what's going on around you. It's like being in. It's like being a football coach. You gotta know, the defense is doing this, the offense, the quarterback's in a bad mood. This guy tore his knee. These guys don't like each other. How do I get this guy motivated? How do I get like being?
So when you started, I mean, we know each other forever. So you started out as a guitar player, you're playing in bands. Then you kind of moved into audio. And you were doing a lot of E&G stuff for television. That was kind of your entree into this world. So that path, you just kept being smart and kept capitalizing. And then you saw that an opportunity to take your musical background and combine that with the skills you had learned as an audio guy for television.
But the only thing I didn't do, which I should have done, is I should have learned more technical stuff, so then I could reinvent myself. I can't reinvent. I could be a stage manager for TV, because that's what I'm basically doing now. I'm a stage manager that plugs in microphones. That's about it. But I don't have the technical know-how to become a monitor engineer or a front of house engineer or a Pro Tools playback guy. I have no idea how to do any of that, which is my mistake. I should have done that. I'm just not built that way. You got to help me figure out how to get my camera.
Yeah.
So, I know how to.
No, you're very good at that. That I have to say, from everybody I know in the industry who knows you, the first words when I say, you guys know Mike Fortunato? The first words before he's really good is he's really a lot of fun to be around. The guy's great. Then comes, and he really knows his shit. He's great on a stage. If I don't want to be in a pinch, I want to be with him if the ceiling falls down and the place gets crazy. So that's that you can't train anybody for. That's just, you have to have that in you or you don't.
I would, if I was going to tell a young person who wanted to do what we do, I would say learn the technical aspects of it so you could do multiple things. You know, you learn to do Pro Tools, learn how to be a monitor engineer, learn how to be a front of house engineer, know how to do all that stuff. So then you'll always be around. Me, eventually, my knees are shot. I'm going to be, I don't know, I'll be working at a Guitar Center in the back, stringing.
Yeah, but you know what? And there's a great advantage to what you do, which is, I'm going to say it's the glamour side, but it really is. If you're a front of house, or if you're a monitor, or if you're Pro Tools, you're not interacting with the musicians. You don't have any of that. You're like, hey, how you doing? What's up, buddies? You're right there with them, and that has a lot. That's a very important part of it. I mean, if you're a monitor engineer, all you ever get is, that's it. Yeah, that's your full interaction with the stage. So, I mean, that's an advantage. You've had a good time enjoying that part of it, right?
Yeah, no, I have stories to tell. I have books to
Yeah.
write about this and crazy stuff. But I'm just thinking about young people that are trying to do stuff in this industry, no matter what kind of music they like or whatever, you got to know the technical stuff today because it's all computers. It's one big computer program that runs everything, which is the worst thing because if that computer goes down, it's not like an analog console where it's not going down, it's just knobs, a computer controlled monitor console. If that goes down.
No, I got you. All right, so we got to wrap it up. It's now the end of August 2021, and you've got all of September coming. Give me the next 3 to 4 weeks.
I have to go to Philly to do this Jay-Z thing called the Music Made in America Festival on the steps of the library, the Rocky Steps in Philly. That's what they call them. Then fly to Tampa, do the NFL kickoff. Ed Sheeran's playing the NFL kickoff. Then I have to go to Las Vegas to the iHeart Music Festival, do that, and then come back and do the other concert in Central Park, the Global Citizen Concert. Then go back to Las Vegas for some Shaquille O'Neal.
That's great. That's busy, Bob. Better than 2020 busy.
2020, I was on a set of lemonade.
As did we all, but I couldn't afford buying lemonade from you in 2020. Mike, thanks for the time, and I'm going to catch back with you when we figure out how to clean up your audio a little bit. Still funny that we're audio guys. We'll get that squared away, and I don't know, go 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and then we'll catch up and see where you were. Thank you, buddy.
Right on,
Good
Joey.
talk. Later.